It's a fire in love. It's a fire in love. It's a fire in love. Crimson lights up in the palm of my hands. I reach out to grab the edge. Was it a reaction to the rainfall that made the lights reflect overhead? Whisper something sweet over the city to counter the bitter air. I will be listening for you. The chains were too hard to bear. I believe there's a place where I belong, and you do too. It's not far away. If only it were true. I believe that the waves won't take me down when I'm not alone.
Hello everyone and welcome to this Vainglory Halcyon Showdown between Infamous and Ace Gaming. Two of the top teams in Southeast Asia and East Asia going head to head. This is going to be a really exciting best of five for you today. My name is Minimata and I'm joined by the fantastic Luxuria.
Hello. Well, this is the two top teams in their regions at this point in time. We have Ace Gaming, and and representing Southeast Asia, we have the infamous. Well, I didn't have to say that twice because it's really just in their name. Just a quick run through of their roster. On the side of Ace Gaming, we have Tessa, Creation, Lupi, and Scosa. And on the side of Infamous, and as we all know from the Southeast Asia region, we have Spaghetti, Clowny, QC, and SNK.
We do, and this is going to be played on the East Asia server. So if you notice, some of Infamous's names are slightly different. That's why they have to create a new IGN for their East Asia games, East Asia accounts. And do you think that might make a difference for Infamous? Maybe they'll be thinking that it's slightly different. They're on a different server. Maybe they'll get a little bit of lag spikes. Do you think that won't bother them? You think they'll be okay and will be able to ignore the fact that even though it's a slightly different region, they'll still play pretty much the same?
Yeah, I personally think, I mean, although Infamous in the previous split did not really quite come out on top, but then, you know, just coming to this game, I'm sure that they really want to represent Southeast Asia well. So playing or not in Southeast Asia or in East Asia region, I think they'll do fine. They'll still give it their best. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what the side of Infamous can bring to the table.
Yeah, and it's going to be so exciting to see how the two different metas are going to clash in this draft. We've seen a couple of times when you have two different regions playing against each other. Both teams come out of the draft thinking, wait, what happened? We just got all of our meta picks. And the other team thought exactly the same, because with the two different metas in different regions, maybe one side thinks that the Batiste-Baron combination is OP, and the other team thinks that Idris Grace is OP. And so they both get what they want, and then they see which meta is actually stronger. But without further ado, the draft is ready. So we are going to go into the draft.
So we are into the draft right now, and I'm really excited to see the meta that East Asia would bring, you know, and basically just bring to the table, and then just let us see what East Asian meta is all about. Because in Southeast Asia, we actually do see a lot of priority ban on that of Baron, if not then Idris. So on the side of Ace Gaming, we actually do see a Grace immediately banned out, and did not even take a lot of timing from their side.
Yeah, Grace and Lyra. We saw a lot of Lyra emphasis in SEA, and Grace is similar, both providing such big heals. In a meta where Poison Shiv got slightly nerfed, the healers have become much more into the meta, and there we see that Kestrel is a comfort pick for Creation, the laner of Ace Gaming. He's fantastic at playing Kestrel in the lane, so we're very likely to see a weapon Kestrel in lane. That's also a preemptive counter to Baron, if they do decide to pick Baron, because Kestrel is really good at beating Baron in the early game when he struggles to farm up effectively, and so Kestrel could just bully him out of that lane, get the CS lead, and then start to push the game from there. I'd like to see Catherine. Yeah, Catherine definitely going to be picked up to try and counter that Kestrel as well as they can. And they might ban Sky here because Sky really good against Catherine, or they might try and pick it up themselves because it'd be risky to pick Catherine and let Sky go through.
Yep, definitely. I'm not surprised if the side of Infamous actually do ban out their Skies. I mean, looking at the past week, we actually do see a lot of Skies getting banned out from the side of Infamous. And in fact, in Southeast Asia, we actually do see a Samuel being the ban here. I do understand the consensus as well because, the side of Ace really like the double range comp, and Samuel might actually be one of their priority picks as well. And also one thing about the side of Infamous is that Spaghetti just really likes Celeste, and in the early game, Samuel kind of owns Celeste in the jungle, so I do actually understand the Samuel being banned out. And in response to that, we actually do see Ace Gaming banning out the Celeste because we actually did get information off stream that Ace Gaming, one of their weaknesses is going up against Celeste because just Celeste in the early game provides so much poke, that's one thing. And of course, in the later part of the game, Celeste is just so strong with her zoning capabilities.
Especially with, they know how good Spaghetti is on Celeste, so they're just going to bat it away, not try and face against it. I'd still like to see Sky picked up because, again, if they pick Kestrel Sky, you know, Ace Gaming likes to play double ranged, and that would be a double ranged comp, and it would work against the Catherine, and it would work really well for them. But they're thinking long and hard about this, and they're going to pick the Vox. They know Idris can't be picked against that unless they make it a Crystal Power Kestrel and go for lane Idris. So that's just another comfort pick. They think Vox is a good hero, not really countering Kestrel. Kestrel has much larger range than Vox, especially on those glimmer shots. So yeah, it's just they're both teams are going for what they're comfortable playing, and not really countering yet. We're going to see probably Infamous trying to counter quite heavily on that last pick. I think we're not really sure how it's going to go for. They're going to go for the Batiste. They seem quite comfortable on Batiste as well. He's really strong. Generally, is a Crystal Power jungler, and that's probably going to be a Roam Glaive. Crystal Glaive and Roam Batiste isn't as strong. There's nowhere near as much damage as if that Glaive goes as a captain. To counter this, Celeste is already banned away, so they can't pick that Celeste to be amazing into this Batiste, and they can't go Samuel to try and poke out. It's going to be quite hard for Infamous. There aren't that many heroes left. They could try Crystal Power Blackfeather, would be risky, but it could work. Or again, Sky can work, but again, Batiste is really good into Sky.
Yeah, but I personally think that this Batiste would actually be picked up on Scosa, the captain of the team, and not on Tessa, because we know and we actually quite understood from off stream that Tessa actually played a lot of Glaive in the past, and even in VIPLs as well. So, you know, I do understand if they kind of swap it up and have a Roam Batiste and then have a Glaive as the jungler instead of the Batiste. So, you know, I just want to see how they're going to execute the comp coming out from the side of Ace Gaming. But overall, I think their comp is looking good. And in response to that Glaive and Batiste pickup, we actually do have a Scarf being picked out and then going into the jungle. I do understand the Scarf pickup, however, I see a point in there. I mean, in a later part of the game, in a late game, you do actually provide similar zoning capabilities to that of Celeste. Just barring the fact that your Spitfire do not stay on the spot, it is a one-shot kind of skill where you spit it out and then it's kind of done. But then, of course, you can use your group as the zoning capability. It's just one thing though. The side of Infamous do not actually have a form of hard engage. In fact, do not have any form of hard engage as compared to the side of Ace Gaming. Reigning from East Asia. Just looking at the comp alone, like we said, creation is really good and really comfortable on that Castro. And of course, there is a Batiste and a Glaive pickup, which they are really good for hard engages if they actually find a need to. But then on the side of Infamous, it's almost as if in a late game they actually have the poke. We do not. I do not quite understand, or rather, I haven't quite dabbled in, you know, the meta in East Asia. But honestly, from what we saw in the past, and I'm sure it is going to be translated into now, is that, you know, East Asia has always been a really aggressive region coming into the regions per se. And you know, I'm not surprised if they actually do want that early game early game aggression, especially with Scosa on this glaive, like you said, the Rome glaive, and with a Dragon Blood contract actually picked up.
Yeah, very likely to go in aggressive as 3-man, it actually looks like. So that's Catherine going to flare them out. He's going to be able to mess suit to try and run away. Scosa has picked up sprint boots on the glaive, which is a really smart decision. It really helps you to secure kills in the early game. If someone looks like they're going to get away, you can just boost towards them. Vox is taking the backs of 8, and Scarf's going to try and steal these away, but Kestrel's going to pick up both of them. Actually, Batiste gets one. But Scotia knows that Vox is taking the backs. Vox is actually, I think, probably going to get all 3 here, and then probably just port home. He doesn't want to get caught out. Actually, he might die to the minion. Wouldn't be a bad idea if you don't get hit by anyone. If you don't get hit by any enemy and die to a minion, it's just a quicker way to port home. You don't give away any goals. You don't give away first blood. It's actually not a bad idea if you die to minions without, as long as you secure the minion, of course, before you die.
Yep, definitely. But then we do actually see Spaghetti on this Vox just roaming to the backs of the side of Ace Gaming to just get hold of the backs while they are doing a 3-man engage, 3-man invade.
Vox looks like he's going to take some jungle, but no, he's just Scarf and Vox to swap for a little bit to make sure that as much CS as possible was taken by someone. And Kestrel's just going to farm up nicely in lane here, and Glaive actually gets quite low from the poke from Scarf and Catherine, so has to back off. SNK wanted to make sure he gets as many stacks as possible in that Mercy Pursuit, because this early game is going to be tough. There's going to be a lot of invades, a lot of chances for SNK to get stacks and get stuns up. Batiste trying to farm up. She's going to bomb Scarf's jungle. Scarf did well to get her mid and her back before Batiste could really invade her. There's going to be some nice farming, and then I doubt Scosa's going to get a really good afterburn onto Spaghetti, as long as SNK has vision in that bush. So it's really going to want to be passive from Infamous with that Scarf ramping to late game and Vox being quite late game as well. Creation's going very low in lane. Lovely message from Catherine. Creation will fall to Spaghetti. First by going over to him. Good stun from SNK there. And Spaghetti following up with that Sonic Zoom to get him in. And Kestrel without boots at that point couldn't run away, couldn't get an active camo trap down, and it's a good first blood for Infamous.
Yep, definitely. That was, I mean, we did say off stream that, you know, Creation is just really good. And in fact, on stream, that Creation is really good in lane with this Castro. But then I think it's just the Catherine picked up, you know, that, you know, just increase the gang potential coming out from the side of Infamous. And as you said earlier on, with the Catherine is such a reliable counter, or rather, they can try to counter this Castro with this Catherine. Only because of Storm Guard and of course the really reliable Merciless Pursuit, or rather the stun from Merciless Pursuit. So, you know, honestly, SNK being in lane, just babysitting Spaghetti, I think it's a really good idea. But then again, we did see earlier on that, you know, it was because Scosa on this glaive actually decided to roam down to help Batiste, Tassa on Batiste.
Yeah, even though Creation did die, there's going to be a lovely afterburn from Glaive, but SNK is going to get Mercy Pursuit onto Creation as well. Ghost goes very low from that box. One more shot should do it. Catherine's going to boot it on the turret, but going to think better of it. Might have secured the kill, but would have changed her own life, so just going to back off. And there's Tassa rotating up to lane, trying to get some soul fragments before he becomes empowered. Then really, everyone's going to have to watch out for his damage once he becomes empowered. And that was a good afterburn from Glaive, but a great stun from SNK to make sure that Creation could take advantage of Spaghetti being out of position. And he's just going to rotate down to the jungle. No one wanting to push the lane at the moment. Glaive still with that Dragon Blood contract. It does quite a considerable amount of damage in the early game, but it falls off quite quickly. So if you don't really take advantage of your early game, the Dragon Blood contract isn't really worth it. It's just 150 gold that becomes wasted once you have to sell it.
Yep, definitely. But then just looking at CS alone, we did say that Ace Creation is just really good as a laner, or rather as a farming machine, like a lot of people actually call people who just farm a lot and just waiting for the late game for the power spikes to happen. We actually do see Ace Creation. Oh, and afterburn.
A level 5 infusion popped by Creation there. That was the quickest infusion I've ever seen someone buy, 4 minutes 30, and Queasy is basically going to die. He's going to fall to the Glimmer Shot. No need for vision. SNK is going to try and run away. Creation going down to shot, 4 minutes 50, pocketing an infusion. As soon as Dave afterburns, he's going to pop that infusion, secure 2 kills for that 500 gold that he spent, and now he's going to push this turret. Kestrel's so good at pushing turrets with those Glimmer Shots. And SNK going to take some poke, going to have to be forced to port home without a fountain yet. Can't save box. This will probably be the first turret going over to Ace about 5 minutes in. They're going to try and secure it, and he will get the turret after to run away. Creation using that infusion so effectively, got himself a kill, helped secure another kill, and then picking up a turret, making that infusion more than worth it.
Yep, definitely. I mean, as before that fight actually broke out, I wanted to say that Creation actually managed to buy a Sorrow Blade and then afterwards had an infusion in the pocket. And I was about to say that a fight might actually break out only because of the infusion that was picked up by the side of Creation. You know, it was a really good engage coming out from the side of Ace Gaming right there. It was a really good afterburn followed by Castro just deleting that of Spaghetti, and then of course the Ordain, not forgetting Tass's Ordain as well. It was really good play coming up from the side of Ace Gaming. And there's one thing as well, because as a Castro, you generally would pick up the Sorrow Blade, a really hard weapon item in the early game, or rather as your first item, whereas on Vox, you do not quite have that early game damage like that of Castro, because your first item generally would be that of Poison Shift, and then into a tension bow.
Ace again, a great rotation. This is just objective focused gameplay. Infamous were just farming their jungle, and that's the second turret. 6 minutes in, Spaghetti's going to try and stop it, and he will just about. That was a Creation deciding it's not worth dying to get the turret. That's going to take it down to a slimmer of health and just back off. So Infamous needs to be so careful of leaving, and that's going to be SNK falling pretty much. Fountain's not going to save his life. Great afterburn from Scosa on the glaive, and that Infamous is going to have to back off, and they're not even going to be able to stop this turret falling. But as I said, yeah, Infamous needs to be careful of just roaming through the jungle while Ace are pushing the lane, playing a really objective focused game. They took the gold mine when it was half full, took first turret, taking the sentry. Not quite going to get the second turret. They just want to get the safe objective and now back off. But Ace are just doing really well at not even getting the kills. They've got 3 kills, but they've got a 3k gold lead because they've taken almost all the objectives.
Yep, definitely. And one thing for sure is that the side of Creation, we really do see this in Southeast Asia. Generally, people pick up, like you said, an infusion really late, or rather later, like say an level 8 infusion, when they finally get an overdrive on one of the abilities. That is when normally you would see an infusion being picked up. But then we saw on Creation, he picked up an infusion at level 5. He's now at level 7, but then he tries to make full use of the infusion just by going in for the first turret, securing 1 kill, and then help support another kill, and then afterwards try to go in for the second turret as well. So, you know, this is just making full use of the 500 gold. I mean, infusion itself is not exactly a really cheap item pickup, and in fact, because it's not permanent, it doesn't grant you permanent stats as well. And also at that low level, the burst of stats that it provides isn't really that like one shot, 1 kill do connect.
And that's the fearsome shake of Miso. Batiste going to be stunned while empowered, but that turret is going to fall to Kestrel. As you said, Creation is a farming machine. 100 CS, Spaghetti 75. We're only 8 minutes 45 into the game. He's already on 105 CS. And he has stolen a little bit from Batiste. And again, Ace just going to take the objectives, even though gold mine's only about half full, maybe about 200 gold in there. They're going to take it, and that's 2 payouts they got, which is the same as if they took gold mine that was full. And so they just get the objectives, and don't even need to get kills, just make it so Infamous cannot defend their objectives and farm up, just keep going from there. So it's really well played from Ace.
Yep, definitely really well played from Ace. They just know and understand that, you know, certain things, or rather, they just understand the mechanics, the micro part of like the game itself. In Vainglory, it's that, you know, no matter how much full, as long as you're not taking a gold mine at like tens, if it's in the hundreds or 150 at least, you get 2 of that, and that is basically 1 full payout. And one more thing about that is also because a lot of teams actually try to gather around the gold mine when it's in full payout, and you know that you actually risk yourself going to a team fight that you do not want to be in. Whereas, you know, in a gold mine where it's just sitting at 150, 170 gold, then, you know, not a lot of teams actually do want to gather around it because they do not think that it's a worthy objective just yet. Anyways, 1 shot, 1 kill do actually connect on Spaghetti, and we actually did see it chunked off a quarter of Spaghetti's health. Honestly, I like to see Ace Gaming putting more pressure than they have now. Just look at the goal difference. They are sitting at 5k goal difference. They can actually just be a little more aggressive. Granted, they have to take care of the turret. That the side of Infamous is trying to get at.
And Infamous are waiting for a gank, but Ace are just farming up, and that's going to be Tassa actually finding the members of Infamous, but Kestrel is at the back, so Tassa is going to boots away, and so will Glaive. So Infamous waiting for a gank didn't quite happen because Kestrel was just taking the backs, and Batista and Glaive could back off. And that is a Soul Blade double Tyrants 10 minutes in for Kestrel. That's a massive power spike compared to the Poison Shiv Tension Bow on Vox. Kestrel has so much more damage than Vox right now. Even though Vox does have a little bit of sustain with that Poison Shiv, it's really not going to be contested at all if they get into a 1v1. Who's going to win that?
Yeah, I mean, just look at a CS alone. It's quite incredible to witness. A one-shot, one-kill do actually connect on SNK. They might actually be looking at an engage right now. Batiste is not empowered just yet. Just 3 more attacks. Ooh, okay. Okay, just one more attack.
Gonna push the turrets, and now Kestrel's gonna back off. They want to get some poke. Batista's good at poking out, especially when empowered, and Kestrel's really good at that. So another sentry, they're gonna just take the objectives, and Infamous cannot defend. The sentry taken far too quickly. This Kestrel, with 3 items already, just means she can burst any objective she wants to. And they're probably gonna look for the gold man again. Yep, about half full. And Infamous probably know now. They know that they've seen Ace take the gold man when it's half full before, and so they're not even going to try and contest it. But as you said, most teams don't bother getting vision on gold mine until it's about full, and then they go, oh, the gold mine's full, someone's probably going to try and take it now, we should get some vision on it. Yep. When it's 100, 180, 170, it's still worth taking. It's still about half or 2/3 of what it would be if it was full and accumulating no more gold. But yeah, Ace really good at knowing when to take the objectives and knowing when the enemy aren't going to be able to contest them.
Yep, I mean, just looking at the game itself, people, or rather the viewers, might think that, this is quite an uneventful game just looking at a KD. The overall KD is just 4 kills in total across the board at 12 minutes, and in fact, we're inching into the 13th minute right now, but it's just 4 kills. But then we have to see the goal difference alone. Just Ace Gaming is just playing their comms to just being really, really objective focused. Like we saw earlier on, they just go for turrets. If they cannot secure a turret, they go down for the sentry. They eliminate the sentry, and then they go for a half full gold mine. So it's quite impressive play coming up from the side of Ace Gaming, because it's just how the game is played generally.
And
they are so objective.
The fight is the blast tremor coming from Catherine. There's the echo going to be used. Crucible going to block the second blast tremor because Ace did manage to get the sentry. Infamous really wanted to stop that last sentry life from falling. Catherine bootsing in, getting the first blast tremor, but Infamous, the rest of Infamous weren't there. They weren't there to try and contest that final sentry life with Catherine. And so Ace just managed to pick it off with basic attacks from Kestrel while she was silenced. Glaive blocking the second one, well done. It's you expect the captain to block one of the Catherine silences. You rarely expect them to block both because you can't build 2 crucibles. But it was well played from Ace. They've taken down all the sentries, so that's such a big objective that Infamous don't have to back off to in their jungle, which means they now have to back to their turrets. But they've only got they've already lost 2 turrets, so they have to back towards their choke point if they want to get anything. And that'll be another gold mine going over to Ace, extending this gold lead to about 7k gold lead with only 2 more kills, and that's a 651 shot onto Spaghetti. Guess we're picking up that piercing spear, working towards probably tension bow. We've seen so much tension bow, I'd be surprised if it's anything else.
Yep, definitely. I'm not surprised if Creation do actually pick up the tension bow just for that extra armor piercing, because Vox, and it's quite interesting to see on Infamous actually, is that they are picking up really early game defenses. SNK is going in for a merciless pursuit, but no follow-up.
Creation just want the turret. That's 2 glimmer shots doing 1,000 damage onto that turret from Creation. And he can basically just one-shot minions at this point, unless it's a big minion, then he takes a couple of shots to get it. But again, push the wave in. Kim Catherine's going to body block. I'm just going to try and work around her, a couple more basic attacks, and that turret's going to fall. Fantastic siege from Creation. Scarf is known for her really good wave clear. It's a one-shot, basically killing SNK, who already has a coat of plates and a light armor just to try and defend against this Kestrel, but it's not even that much. And that's a block on the first blast tremor. Cannot on the second one, but he's going to stun her out of it instead. Oh, Ace Gaming doing so much work. Kestrel's going to boost in, try and get Spaghetti, but does not have a glimmer shot up. He's going to take 600 burst on that first glimmer shot. Skosa deciding that he can do it, and there's a trap there. Spaghetti doesn't know there isn't a one shot to connect into it. Creation's just backing off. Going to try and get some poke damage with glimmer shots. But Skosa's quite low. If he afterburns in, probably fall. There's the wait for it. There's the afterburn in. He's going to be blocked actually, so he's going to walk out of the active camo. Not going to get stuff like that, but if he blocks the afterburn, he can't block the ordained from Batiste. That is another turret going over to the Ace. They're almost at a 10k gold lead, and they've only got 5 kills.
Exactly, like just look at the scoreboard alone. 6 kill overall, and on the side of Ace Gaming, they've already like, you know, have a 10k gold lead, and it's just impressive to say the least. There is no answer coming out from the side of Infamous at all. Even if they do turtle up, and even after, you know, Catherine has got the blast tremor into an echo, and yet we saw just now they Skosa blocked the first blast tremor and then went in for an afterburn. Usually you see that as an engage, but not for Skosa. Skosa went in afterburn, Catherine out of, you know, that second blast tremor that she managed to echo, and that was just impressive, because generally we are saying a lot of times that, you know, blast tremor is one of those skills, if you build echo on, it's kind of difficult to actually like counter, because, you know, not many people actually has got like double crucible on a team, but that works as well.
Yeah, definitely. If you can't block it, just stun her out of it. SNK's going to go in. It's not got the storm gun for a little bit, so Kestrel could do damage, but again, Creation's just going to focus on turrets. That's all they're doing. There's the first blast tremor going to be blocked up. Skosa has got the afterburn available. So SNK is going to wait for that before using the second blast tremor, but it's not going to be stunned out this time. Kestrel is silenced, but that will be still Batiste picking up the kill onto Scarf. Fox is going to try and do what he can, getting the poke onto Glaive, but this is just Kestrel on the back line. This is Spaghetti probably going to fall. Basic attacks are enough. No need for glimmer shots. That is game 1 going over to Ace Creation. Such fantastic plays from them.
It is rather flawless gameplay coming out from the side of Ace Gaming. The only one kill that Infamous scored throughout the game was only because SNK was in lane and then managed to stun out Castro, and Castro was too close to the enemy side brush. Just look at the CS alone. I can't help but just keep and continuously laugh, because we are talking about, we talked beforehand that at 10 minutes, Creation actually had 120 CS, but then we're just looking at it now. There's like 17 minutes in, and Creation is close to that of a 200 CS, just 2 creep shot, and we saw earlier on as well, like Creation wasn't interested at all to fight. All Creation was doing merely was just taking down a turret, and then afterwards, when, you know, both turrets are down and Kraken is just going over and on the crystal, Creation then just decided, you know, it's a good time for him to go up and just take Vox out. So just looking at the CS, not the CS, sorry, just look at the scoreboards throughout. We actually do see a Bonesaw being picked up on Creation, and not the traditional tension bow. And I do understand why, because there's just so much armor coming out from the side of Infamous. I mean, it's not an awful lot. It is just really just a metal jacket coming out from the side of Spaghetti, and Spaghetti is the main carry after all, and shredding armor would and might be that priority for Creation. And one more thing about Bonesaw, interesting fact for the viewers that do not understand how Bonesaw works as well, is that Bonesaw, it actually shreds the armor on turrets and crystal as well. So really good pickup for Bonesaw, and not just going for the tension bow. Granted, Bonesaw do not give you the highest buff as a 3rd tier item, because it only grants you 15 weapon power, 25 attack speed, and just 8 armor piercing, as compared to that of tension bow, when it actually gives you 12. percent armor pierce, but it's just a shredding that Bonesword provides that Tension Bow do not have. You know, that is just a more valuable pickup as compared to that of Tension Bow. Just looking at the scoreboards throughout, just looking at Scarf's build, and in fact, I'm just looking at Tass's build. Tass just went for the 3 core items needed on Batiste to perform, and just going in for his defenses afterwards. And on the side of Queasy, on the Scarf, we are seeing a Reflex Block, a Frostburn, a Broken Myth. And there's one thing about Frostburn, or rather Broken Myth, is that you need to be in a team fight for a really long time, or rather not long time, but then you need to try to be the engager and be in a team fight behind. So behind in that team fight, so you can like put up your stacks and then just keep building up your stacks so that, you know, you can eventually just deal a lot of damage with your Dragon's Breath. But that didn't quite happen because Queasy was just bursted down so too quickly for even like, you know, Broken Myth stacks to be built up.
Yeah, the main problem in that game for Infamous was that they lost their objectives quite early on. They lost the CS game as well in lane. It's really hard to beat Creation in a CS war in the lane. And so from that, they just weren't able to come back because Creation managed to get a slight lead and they could just push objectives from there. Wouldn't bother to try and get kills, that wasn't necessary. They just farmed up, got objectives, got way more money than Infamous had, and so they could, if a team fight broke out, if you've got an extra item on your enemy or you've got an extra 2,000 gold, you're probably going to win the team fight, even if they play well, because you just have that insane gold lead. And Ace Creation aren't going to play a 4-team fight, as we saw from Glaive stunning Catherine out of the blast chamber once, not quite getting it the second time, but it was pretty close. And so I believe that the draft is ready. So without further ado, we're going to go into the draft.
So coming to the...
Do you think Kestrel will be banned this game?
I hope so. That is one thing that I was about to touch on. Like just opening the draft alone. They are actually going to ban out Glaive on the side of Infamous, and I do understand. I mean, Glaive provided a lot of utility in the previous game as well, but just not so much as compared to that Castro. I mean, if Creation is just so comfortable on this Castro, then why not just ban that Castro, or forcing Creation to fall back on, you know, like say Vox or even like another laner that is not quite known for.
Yeah, maybe. And we see Ace banning away the Grace again. They clearly think that Grace is a really strong hero, and they're right, because Grace is really good at the moment. The heal that she has in team fights is almost too much. And if they clearly don't want to play Grace, so they're just going to ban it away. And then Infamous are going to go for their comfort pick this time. You're not going to ban Celeste away from us. We're just going to pick it. We know you don't like playing against the Celeste. We've got Spaghetti who can play Celeste really well. And so we're going to pick it up, and we're going to hope that you can't counter it. Obviously, Taka, really good into diving Celeste. Same with Koshka. Koshka has the additional advantage of being really good early game against Celeste, who's normally quite weak. So there are still counters available, but Ace Gaming don't have to pick them up yet. It's unlikely that Infamous are going to pick up either Taka or Koshka or any assassins, because all the assassins are Crystal Power, except maybe Blackfeather. And so they've already picked their Crystal Power hero. So Ace can just get their comfort picks, maybe get the Kestrel if they want to, and just wait to see if what assassin is correct to try and counter the draft coming from Infamous. They're going to pick Lyra. They saw that Infamous banned Lyra last game. Healer's really strong with the Poison Shiv nerf, so they're going to pick up the next strongest healer with Grace banned. And they might ban away Adagio, but I doubt it. They're going to ban the Catherine, so yeah, they want to pick Kestrel. If they don't ban Kestrel here, Infamous going to be in a lot of trouble.
Yep, I mean, just look at the draft at this point in time. The side of Infamous is actually kind of coming out on top if they do actually ban out that Castro. And then, of course, you know, because it's just a fact, or rather, we've been talking about off stream that, you know, the side of Ace Gaming just really respect that of Celeste. when played on the opponent's side, they do respect this particular hero. Oh, we are actually going to see a Samuel bend out against Ace Gaming, like we saw in the previous game as well. I think it is just down to Tessa on that jungler, and I just think that he's really comfortable on this Samuel, and that is why the side of Infamous is actually afraid of this Samuel, because honestly, if you are going to pick up Celeste, like I said in the previous draft, it's that M bending out Samuel, it's understandable because in the early game, in the late game, they can kind of out-kite you. But then I personally think coming to this draft, Castro is just a much more valuable ban.
Yeah, because you saw how good Creation is on Kestrel, and there aren't that many good early game laners in the current meta. Obviously, lane Glaive is quite good at beating squishy heroes. He's good against Idris, and he's alright against Kestrel. But Creation just pushes it into mid game so quickly with the CS, because if you can CS well, then you'll get your items early on, and so your late game, even if you're slightly bad late game, will just start to disappear because you've got 2-3 items so early that you're now playing in the mid game with those items. And they're going to go for the double support Celeste, something which I've seen before. I've played it a couple of times and it's really hard to pull off. Like, it's so hard to get this weapon lance and lane Celeste to work properly, because you just have to peel for the Celeste, and if they go someone like Taka, or they're going to go for the Idris, or what are we going to see? We're going to see a lane Idris, or we're going to see a Crystal Kestrel, or we're going to see a Crystal Idris. What do you reckon they're going to go for?
You know, honestly, I think we might actually be seeing a Crystal Idris. I'm not sure myself. Ooh. because I really look forward to Crystal Idris being played, because it's just his play style is so different from that of Weapon Idris. Firstly, you do not have your blink, and secondly, you're really just counting on your poke, and in fact your damage, your range damage as well, and because like I said earlier on, the side of Ace Gaming really like the double range comp as well. Right, so yeah. I do understand if they are going for the Crystal Idris instead of the Weapon Idris, or rather Creation will be on that Weapon Idris. So I hope to see a Crystal Idris, but then again, maybe just maybe, not even maybe, but it's highly likely that Creation will be on that Idris, and then Tessa will be on that Crystal Castro.
Yeah, I think if we saw a Crystal Idris, it might have to be, it might have to be in the jungle. If we saw Crystal Idris, because obviously, Creation is so strong in the lane on Kestrel, on Weapon Kestrel, that it would kind of be taking away the comfort pick that you've got on Weapon Kestrel if you put it Crystal and then go for that Weapon Idris. So we're going to see what they're going to pick, and it will be Creation on Idris. So unfortunately, we're seeing the much more meta, the much less exciting in some ways, Weapon Idris and Crystal Kestrel. It's a really good comp. Crystal Kestrel is a fantastic pick into Celeste, because you can pretty much outpoke her if you land your skill shots and dodge hers. But again, Crystal Kestrel very vulnerable to an early game invade from Lance. So Infamous are going to have to be good at invading the jungle, stopping Kestrel farming, and getting Lance ahead of Kestrel so that he can just burst her down with an impale and a basic attack.
Yep, although it's really not meta in 2.6 at least, or it has been not meta even in 2.5, is that just putting a Celeste in lane, it is just not exactly very meta, because you really need those levels as a Celeste. So anyways, Infamous actually did learn from their previous mistakes and is coming in to prepare for a 3-man gang. But this time, we actually do see Ace Gaming not doing what they did in the previous game, and instead just going to do their usual rotation instead of a 3-man gang. And I do understand why. I mean, because in the previous game they had a Weapon Castro, and it's just so strong, and just going up against the Celeste, like I said, they've got utmost respect for this Celeste.
Yeah, and Crystal Kestrel definitely wants to farm up, doesn't want to invade like a Glaive does at level 1. So Kestrel just smartly farming, and they know the rotation that Infamous did. It was Scosa got Imperial Sigil into the gank bush they were hiding in. So Tassa on this Kestrel knows exactly what happened. Knows Lance went back to the jungle, and Tessa went up to lane. So he was free to actually get the mid tree in, with knowing that Lance wouldn't contest it. So that's really good for Kestrel to get ever so slightly ahead in this jungle. But I'd expect to see Queasy either rotate up to lane, try and gank Idris when he's really weak in the early game, or rotate into the jungle to try and kill Kestrel. So interesting to see what he's going to try and do.
Yep, I actually saw my camera is just permanently, for now at least, on creation, and I saw him miss 3 CS, 1 big minion and 2 small ones. Yep. so that's a thing now for creation. For
It's okay,
everyone
he's
out there.
shocked. He's bought 2 weapon blades. So he'll get the rest from now.
Yeah,
I wouldn't worry if I were you.
Yeah, definitely.
Again, Tassa just waiting for that mid tree. Lance isn't invading Kestrel in this early game. Tassa's just free to farm up on this Kestrel. Got 2 mid treants. He's going to probably pour home and rest up to lane to try and get a gank on Celeste. But Lance is going to do the same thing. So we might be seeing a fight breaking out. Tassa's going to walk out with vision, and that's a bright ball not quite going to stop up Queasy. And there's the core collapse not landing from Spaghetti. Spaghetti with almost no energy. Can afford to do a couple of healers and sisters protect contract from SNK to try and help Celeste against this Idris poke from the Chakra.
Yep.
Getting a farm at range. And no, there wasn't a fight, just a initial skirmish that no one really won.
Yeah. Honestly, you would think that a Celeste would actually manage to outpoke that of an Idris in the early game because of how weak Idris is before he unlocks his divergent path. But just look at the health, between Celeste and that of Idris. Granted, there is support coming out from Scosa, but even as Lyra, your Imperial Sigil in the early game do not do that much damage if you do not have like a crystal bit pickup. But then we do see that the side of Ace actually forcing
Lots of damage on Queasy on that Lance. He's going for the Sora Blade first Lance instead of Tension Bow. It's a good idea on Lance. If you want scalable damage, you go Tension Bow first, then you build build Sora Blade first, then maybe a Tension Bow for Armor Pierce, instead of going for that Tension Bow for the on-hit damage. So he is going to go Sora Blade, which makes sense because Kestrel's probably not going to build defense on you, so the Armor Pierce is pretty pointless in Tension Bow. You're building it just for that burst damage. But if you go Sora Blade first, you have similar amounts of burst, and you then have sustained damage throughout the whole fight. So you can kill Kestrel and do a lot of damage on Idris as well, instead of just bursting Kestrel and having nothing Bridges. But there we go. Spaghetti getting good poke concentration, but Kestrel's going to come through. Lots of damage on those glimmer shots from Kestrel. Celeste is forced to just port home. Can't even contest against this Kestrel, but it's going to be stopped. And this will be Ace once again doing the new best, pushing turrets. SNK is almost falling. This is Tassa doing so much damage on Crystal Kestrel. SNK is going to have to back off towards the turret. Queasy's going to try and farm up and try and stop this turret from being pushed. But Ace are just going to do what they can to get it. SNK going to have to back off. But Ace don't want to go too far. Kestrel knows their jungle's going to be respawning soon. Wants to pick that up before Lance can take it from her. But again, Queasy not invading the jungle against a Crystal Kestrel. Obviously you've got a Celeste, so you want to farm that Celeste up to late game to get level 8, get her power spike from the overdriven Helios, but you need to stop Kestrel from farming up as well, or else you'll be in a horrible position.
Yeah, 5 minutes in, Creation would be going down to pick up that Sorrow Blade, unlocking his divergent path, and this would be his initial power spike. We are going to see Idris not bring out any amazing or out of this world team comp. Oh, Lance is going in.
The combat roll from Lance, get that power basic attack ready. Kestrel's going to get some nice glimmer shots, only one landing onto Spaghetti. Protect contract from Arden, try and keep everyone a little bit healthier. And there is a fountain on both Arden and Live, and that's not going to be a miss on his tail, not even landing on the minions, but he can be used by Scosa, and Spaghetti is going very low to try and farm up. That's the fountain going to be forced to be popped by SNK. Spaghetti not being able to get this CS on the turret, and the turret's almost going to fall. So much damage from Tessa there. But Tassa's going to port home with no energy. Probably going to wait for that Shatter Glass. Only needs a little bit more gold for it. And that's just going to be infamous. They know Kestrel was too low to stay in the fight, and as Porsche now has picked up that Shatter Glass, but Infamous can't push even 2v3. And so they're just going to farm up in the jungle, try and get Celeste some more levels, some more experience. But again, Celeste can't go take to jungle too freely because she's worried about that turret. Just the minions get pushed in, that turret's going to fall so quickly. And then we see again Creation, 6 minutes this time, but picking up an infusion in the pocket, ready if Skosa hits level 6, gets the arcade passage to get her in, and Spaghetti half health from a one-shot, one kill. Creation's going to push this turret in. Spaghetti wants to go to the backs and will, so this is going to be very likely. Creation knows and is going to just try and take this turret down. And Spaghetti's going to run back to lane to see if he can stop the turret fall. And Spaghetti's already there. Taking a lot of focus. So it's Spaghetti that will take it with the chakram. Good minion candy from Skosa to secure the turret. And SNK is going to port home. And that'll be a gold mine taken by Ace. They know that they love gold mines. They've seen some ports going through. Creation's going to push the wave. And actually, they're not going to go for the gold mine. So Tassa too low, and they're actually going to push the minions in and maybe go for it now. But this is slightly different from Ace.
Yep, it is really different. Ace, we are seeing in this game, they are pacing this game much slower, and I really think it is just down to how Idris is played in the early game. Oh, Solar Storm was actually used on that gold mine, thinking Ace would actually be going for it. So I think it's just down to the comp of the side of Ace Gaming. It's just that their comp do not allow them to, just put on so much pressure and take so much objective in the early game. Granted, they have the usual Castro coming out from the side on Tessa as a Crystal Castro, but even then, in a proper fight, you just do not have that ability to be in front and just putting out a lot of damage, like when you are a weapon Castro. So I do understand why. Yeah. So I do understand why they are pacing out this game, and also because of that Celeste pick out as well. Celeste is now level 7, just one more level, and then Celeste will have an amazing zoning.
Landing onto Kestrel, Kestrel's going to boost away, but going to get stunned up by the gauntlet. Lance cannot go for it. Creation's going to dive onto Celeste in the background. Celeste going to boost away. It's just using that Shimmer Strike, trying to get some damage. Spaghetti is back to full health. Fountain was popped by Argent to keep himself alive. Creation is again full health. That was 2 fountains used, so both teams backing off. Tassa did get caught out there, but had the boots to run away, and now Creation are going to go for the gold mine. It will be spotted out. Solar Storm a little bit early. He's going to get mid on it. Lance is good at stealing gold mines, but he pushed it away. And Idris will secure that gold mine. Can we see just a little bit premature on his Githian wall to try and steal that gold mine away? And that is Ace picking up that little bit of a gold advantage, but Infamous could try and push turrets, but not when the one-shot, one-kill comes out to just make them back off. And again, Infamous not being as objective controlled as Ace are. If that was Ace pushing those minions in, they probably would have got this turret to half health. Infamous just backing off, wanting to get their items. And I do like why Ace are waiting towards getting to late game, because obviously Celeste does ramp up really well, but weapon power Lance falls off so hard towards the late game that Idris and Kestrel are going to have so much more damage than him once they get a few items. And Idris already with that Swordblade Poison Shiv and nearly got attention. Bo needs 50 more gold to get it. That they're really ready to fight. And there's lots of minion candy used on both teams. Just want to make sure they have good wave control. Creation going to just walk around, going to keep his barrier if he wants to blink towards Spaghetti. But there is a turret there, so he's not going to dive too deep. Tassa just going to poke as much as he can. One shot, one kill. Gonna pretty much kill Spaghetti, forcing a Halcyon potion to keep Spaghetti almost back to half health. And wow, that's so much damage on this Crystal Kestrel. Spaghetti basically needs defense, or needs to just stay behind SNK, so the Glimmer shots will never connect. Because if they do, then that will be pretty cool. And it's almost up, but again, as I said, Spaghetti's going so low. Creation wants to dive into the back line. Knows with the basic attack and a Shimmer Strike, you pretty much kill Celeste guaranteed. But Arden has got the bounds in, so if it just tries to engage, can use that to keep them away. And that's Creation stealing a healing camp away. Celeste going to try and farm on the turret. SNK taking a lot of poke, almost falling to Tassa. One shot on Spaghetti, not quite picking up the kill. That could fall back to base that Infamous going to have to do. Ace do know they've spotted Arden. They know Celeste isn't there, so they're just going to take Backs and Sentry. They can't get turret, it just gets something else. And that's another thing that's more than worth it for Ace. It just wants the Backs with one Solar Storm. Going to collect onto Skosa, not quite onto Kestrel. That's one Sentry down. Ace doing good objective focus gameplay, and they could get the gold mine, but again, with this Crystal Kestrel, needs so much energy that they can't get objectives anywhere near as easily as they could on Batiste and Kestrel.
Yep, definitely. And we are seeing yet again 11 minutes in and no kills exchanged between both these teams. I mean, we have a lot of damage coming and falling onto Infamous, or basically just traded, a lot of damage traded. But then, honestly, there is no like proper hard engage or just going in. And in fact, the side of Ace Gaming is just being so objective control, focused rather. They are just going in for all the objectives, and if they cannot secure one, like you said, they will just go for the other. Okay, yeah.
And so there's Kestrel going to get into Lance, going to get spotted out by the scout trap. He's going to try and boot to web, it will not be enough. Thunderstorm not going to connect, and that's Tassa back to full health. And Spaghetti's definitely not at full health because he just has to take that one shot. Spaghetti needs to build some defense. He's got weapons. Spaghetti's got weapon power defense. Interest is the problem. It's Kestrel, and the Soulstorm isn't available to steal this gold mine. I highly doubt that the are going to steal this away. Another objective taken for Ace. They're up to 4k gold ahead. Echo for Arden, and low response, and I think one up herself. Probably for that Imperial Sigil, but you never know. It might be for a bright bulwark just to stop Lance from using his Impale. Lyra actually works, Echo works on Lyra really well, because you can echo pretty much any of her abilities, and it's not a bad idea. You echo a heal, you get more heal. You echo a bulwark, you get another bulwark, which is always good. And if you echo the Arcade Passage, you can just pretty much traverse half the map by using that ability twice.
Ooh, one shot, one kill on the tank, on Infamous, and he removes like a quarter of the health.
And there's the gauntlet used by SNK. He's going to use the second one, try and trap Kestrel, but there's an Arcade Passage, but Arcade Passage on the edge of the gauntlet. Well played from SNK on this. Begin is basically going to fall to Idris, and now he's going to try and do what he can, but Weapon Lance versus Idris is not going to win, especially with the second Arcade Passage. That's the echo from Lyra, and now Idris is going to try and get on top of Queasy, but Queasy going to try and back off. Grayson's going to plateau it for it. He's got a nice position from Lyra, and that's going to be a combat roll, but one shot grip here is enough. Creation blink away from the turret, and that will be an ace for Ace Creation. And well, it was just Idris, like Celeste did really well to try and get as much damage onto Kestrel as she could. Lance and Arden actually picked up that kill.
It is so
Once
weird.
Kestrel fell, Idris was just so much stronger than Lance that they could do it.
Yeah, but one thing, it is just so weird to actually see first blood in 13 minutes in, and I was like, I kind of forgot that they didn't have any kills exchanged, although I actually made that point earlier, till I saw first blood appearing on my screen, and I was like, oh, okay, so, oh, right, so that first blood on Tessa there. But anyways, it is really good play, and it was really good team fight execution coming out from the side of Ace Gaming. They are going in again.
Going in, Idris with that Shimmer Strike onto Celeste, and that's going to be Celeste falling to Creation, and he's going to get another one. One shot, one kill, picking up SNK. Lance running towards the base, it will be enough. He gets the healing, maybe not. What a glimmer shot from Kestrel. And again, Ace Creation pushing this turret. Who needs minions? You've got a Lyra, Imperial Sigil. That'll be this next turret falling, and Ace is just going to back off. Probably can set up a gank. There's vision in the lane from Infamous, but nothing in the jungle, and they're just going to take this sentry down again. Yeah, that's going to be Tessa picking that one up, and that's one life left for the Crystal Sentry. So Infamous needs to be really aware of that. They need to try and either fight when their sentry is up again and Ace is trying to take it down, or pick a fight around the mid of the jungle and back it off towards their sentry, where they turn it into basically a 4v3.
Yep, definitely. I mean, Kraken is up right now, and the side of Ace Gaming is just sitting in a really comfortable 8k gold difference, 8k gold lead. Although it's only just 5 kills on their side, and it's just really just amazing gameplay coming out from the side of Ace Gaming. They are just so objective focused, and this is really go down for something that I really like to say. It really just brings up my point. For every kill they score, they want an objective, and it's not even that. They just want objectives. They just do not even care about the amount of kills they have. So really good play coming out from the side of Ace Gaming. In fact, it is really refreshing as well. They have aggression, but a lot of their aggression is really controlled. They poke the enemies down.
And then it looks like there might be a fight breaking out here. Tessa doing a lot of damage. There's no gauntlet going to be used by Arden, and actually he's going to have to run outside of the gauntlet Echo was used, and the Gauntlet is available again for SNK. Going to dodge that one shot. The Gauntlet didn't get the stun onto Tessa, which is what he wanted to do. And now there's going to be more treasure used. The Gauntlet is not quite going to stun up Kestrel. He's just going to Simmer Strike out and edge into the edge of the Gauntlet. But there we go, this edge has been eliminated. That's all Ace wanted to do. They wanted to get the objective, and they've done it. And so the Gauntlet isn't up for another 80 seconds. The Echo isn't up for another 110 seconds. So Arden's picked up an Aegis and trying to defend against his Kestrel. But that's going to be Kraken going over to Ace. Lance isn't even going to get there in time. One shot to secure it.
Oh, wow.
Ace only have one turret they need to get through to take this game. So Infamous need to take a fight early. They take a fight early, try and win it, and kill the Kraken before it gets to the turrets. If they wait too long, Ace can just seize this turret. But it looks like they're going to back off, which is very risky. Again, Ace can just push this turret from afar with Idris and Kestrel.
Yep, definitely. I mean, just like my point earlier on is just that, you know, they don't even really care about the kills. Like even then, they had, you know, the proper and the perfect setup to actually just go in for that kill, and yet they did not.
There's crit, what was it? Tessa on that Kestrel is sneaking around the backside and going to get spouted up by a flare, but he's still going to be able to push these turrets, and that is a full health Kraken with only one Vainglory turret left. Creation is by the base. Going to get as much damage onto this turret as he can. Kestrel one shot to Spaghetti, basically killing her Celeste, but it's not going to do enough. That's going to be Kestrel stealthing away. Spaghetti's going to try to spot him out, but it won't be enough. Basic attacks won't do it. Your Crystal Kestrel wait for your glimmer shots, but the bane's fallen. Idris does get a kill onto Arden, and that will be another kill onto the Lance. Idris wants the triple. Kestrel's not going to let him out get it. Idris will secure a triple, and the Vayne will fall. Ace Creation take this second game against Infamous.
Indeed, that was just I would not say perfect execution, because you know there was some, like I said earlier on, there was some perfect setups for the side of Ace Gaming during that skirmish at the Kraken pit, and Ace Gaming could have, if they actually dedicated to that fight, could have maybe and probably scored, you know, a really good ace and then push without that Kraken. But then because they do not want to jump into the fight, because of how they are playing it, at least, really, they just did not like dedicate themselves to that fight, and thus did not score that ace that could have ended the game, and then probably saved them like a one kill less. So, you know, but then again, it is great game coming out from the side of Ace Gaming, and of course, you know, GG to Infamous as well.
Yeah, well played from Ace. They knew how to take objectives and in both games. So I think Infamous are gonna think about what Ace are doing, and they're gonna think, right, how do we counter objective-focused gameplay? Well, the best way to do it is to have a composition that wants to push objectives yourself. And if you push objectives before they can, then you're gonna push them back and maybe force them to play a way that they don't want to. You know, Ace, they want to push, they want to find objectives, they want to take whatever they can. And if Infamous take it first, maybe they go for a really early game comp, maybe a Koshka and maybe their own Idris in lane who can bully whoever lane is there. It's hard to do, but if you get land the Chakrams, then you're going to be good, as Creation was in this early game against Celeste. And then Ace maybe have something up their sleeve which they can do. Maybe they can play really passive, wait to late game, not have to take objectives and win late game team fights, but we don't really know yet. So Infamous are going to have to play. They're going to have to play well. They're going to have to think about their composition before the draft and how they're going to try and counter what Ace are doing.
Yep, definitely. So anyways, to the viewers out there and to the viewers watching, we are going in for a really short break. Just stick with us, go grab more popcorns, refresh yourself, and we'll see you very soon.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to this Vainglory Halcyon Showdown between Infamous and Ace Gaming. Currently, we do see that Ace Gaming are 2-0 up. They took the first two games against Infamous, and now we're preparing for this third game. If Infamous do not win, this is a best of five. So if Infamous don't win this, Ace Gaming will take the series 3-0. But to talk with me about this third game, I've got fantastic Luxuria.
Hello and welcome back, everybody. I hope you guys have refreshed up, and grabbed more popcorn because this is the third and possibly the last match between Ace Gaming and Infamous. But anyways, we saw incredible objective control coming out from the side of Ace Gaming. Kills earn their priorities, but then it is just really just the turret pushing capabilities. And if they cannot score a turret, like Minimizer said, they would just go for the sentry and then a gold mine just to further their lead even, just to form a greater lead for themselves. So, coming to this third game, we see really impressive Castro plays coming out from Creation and Tessa.
Yeah, they both know how to play Kestrel really well. It's obviously Kestrel really good comfort pick for Creation in the lane, but we just saw how the Kestrel can also be played in jungle. So they need to be careful about that. I think Infamous, they got in the first game, they just got surprised of the meta from Ace Gaming, where they're just gonna push turrets. They're not gonna focus on objectives. They're not gonna focus on kills. They're just gonna focus on objectives. And so I don't think Infamous are gonna be surprised by that now. They know what's gonna happen. They've seen that Ace can also play passive while still taking objectives. So they know that that's what's going to happen, and they should know how to counter it. I'd love to see a Kestrel ban, but without further ado, the draft is ready. So we're going to see what happens, and we're going to go into the draft.
We are now into the draft between Ace Gaming on the blue side and Infamous on the red side. Like from all the drafts we've seen coming out from Ace Gaming, they're almost prioritizing on that Grace, and then again, we do see a Grace being banned out from the side of Ace Gaming. I really hope, though, on the side of Infamous, they kind of would learn from what they saw in the first two matches, and if they cannot counter this Castro, the burst coming out from Castro, at least they'll ban this Castro out.
Yeah, they're going to ban it. There we go. I'm happy to see that. They tried to counter it in the first game with a Catherine. They tried a composition to counter it in the second game with that weapon lancing lane Celeste, but it didn't work, so they have to ban it away. I think they'll be okay giving away the Lyra. Lyra was really good in that last game to keep Ace nice and healthy when they tried to. Maybe they took a couple of turret shots while trying to push it. But Lyra's a good pick, but I think it's just so important that Kestrel was banned because it can be played by Creation or by Tessa in the jungle. And they're going to pick the Batiste away. We saw Batiste in the first game work really well on Ace Gaming to help them push the turrets, and he has a really strong power spike at level 4 around there in the jungle. When he gets his Ordained, he gets a couple of tier 2 items, and once he's empowered, his Bad Mojo does so much early game damage that you need to be wary of that. And it's also a really good flex pick. You could go Captain Batiste or you can go Jungle Christopher Batiste, so they're not giving away their comp yet. And I'm not sure what they're going to ban here. They could ban away the Idris. We've seen a little bit of Idris, but maybe they'll just maybe they want to pick Celeste. They maybe ban Samuel again. We've seen a lot of Samuel bans.
Yep, we do see actually for both games, for the first two games coming out from Infamous, we actually do see a lot of Samuel being banned out. I really enjoy the Lyra pickup coming out from the side of Ace Gaming, only because of how they generally play their team comps. Their team composition really just objective focus, and they just want to push turrets down. They do not want to dedicate themselves into any fight. So it's just an incredible pickup on the side of Ace Gaming. So we do actually see a Glaive being banned out on the side of Infamous, and not the Samuel ban. We did see Glaive put in a lot of work in the previous game, or rather the first game between Ace Gaming and Infamous. So I do understand the Glaive banned out. And on the side of Ace Gaming, it is almost as if they do not want to deal with another Catherine, and so we see a Catherine banned out.
Yeah, they haven't got Glaive to try and stun Catherine out of her second blast tremor. So they probably thought, oh, I'm going to be able to block one. I'm not going to be able to block the second. But we see the first Baron of the day. Baron not being banned or pick at all until now. Infamous bringing out the power picks of SEA. Baron is such a priority pick in most games. Batiste is so strong but they have left the Samuel open, and Ace Gaming know that Samuel is a good counter to Infamous. Infamous do not like to play against the Samuel. Immediately picking that up, and also going Idris, great counter to Baron. If you get a Shroud Step, you get your Blink on top of Baron with a barrier, you can tank quite a lot of his damage. And then if you manage to Shroud Step, so Shimmer Strike, while he does his jump jets away, then you can get right on top of him. And they go for the Celeste, so that's so much damage for Infamous. They go for the Captain Batiste to try and use his Ordained as CC to try and either trap Samuel outside of his Drifting Dark or trap Idris away from Baron. This could work really well for Infamous. They've got so much better siege potential than Ace Gaming do. Samuel obviously can push turrets. It's quite hard to do so. So much easier with Baron and Celeste to stop Ace pushing turrets. So we're going to see if Infamous are going to force Ace to play possibly a different way. But you never know. Maybe they'll just do the same thing. They'll get the early game farm and push Baron and Celeste out of the lane so they can get those objectives again.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, just looking at the side of Infamous, they actually did respond really, really well against the push comps coming out from the side of Ace Gaming. Like we were talking about it off stream, is that because Ace Gaming is so objective focused, the side of Infamous should actually just respond with another objective focused team comp as well. I mean, and they did it really, really well. We do actually see a Batiste, a Baron, and a Celeste coming out from the side of Infamous, and in a late game, their late game potential, the amount of damage, like you said, is just incredible, and it'll be insane as well. I mean, just Baron alone, there is so little counter to that of Baron, except for that of Idris, and we actually do see Idris being picked up on creation. We did see in a previous match where there were more actions, more fight, and the Idris did really, really well as well. So they are going. Oh, Lara actually managed to take and steal that Elder Treant from all three members on the side of Infamous. So well played on Lara. But anyways, we are seeing on the side of Ace Gaming, a Lara being picked up, a Catherine, a Samuel, and an Idris. The team comp coming out from the side of Ace, they just lack. They do not have as much damage as the one coming out from the side of Infamous. But I was about to say earlier on is that but Idris, he hits his power spike so much faster than that of Baron, and also Samuel's early game is just so much stronger as compared to that of Celeste.
Yeah, there's going to be call cuts from Celeste onto Soska, and we jumped at some bound to pick up that first blood for Infamous. Same as the first game, they got the first blood from a good lane gank, but now they need to push that. They need to get more from it. Whereas in the first game, they got the first kill onto Kestrel, but they didn't do anything from it. And Spaghetti wants to get as much farm as possible here, and then Port Hope to shop. That's a massive wave. That he's actually going to try and get another wave. He's going to try and actually stop Creation from farming up effectively. So this is a lot of minions that Creation wants to try and get. So Spaghetti's going to try and put a lot of pressure because he knows Creation isn't going to be able to trade him in lane at the moment. And so it's good pressure, going to force those minions under turret. May force Creation to lose a little bit of CS, which is with not great farm clear in the early game when he hasn't picked up any items. But Creation's doing well to get most of those minions even while they're under turret.
Yep, I am just looking at Creation right now, and I'm just seeing if he's missing any CS, although the lane is pushed up against him, and no, he actually hit all of them, so...
Spaghetti tried to force Creation to be bad at CS, but he just can't do it. He's just so good at landing all those minions. But it was important. Spaghetti managed to port home and build a heavy steel and a weapon blade, which means that Baron will have a such easier time farming now than he would. But because he ported home, that allowed Idris to rotate down and get his own heavy steel. So now Creation can actually push the wave quite effectively as well. And now that's going to be Spaghetti pushing the lane up again. Now drifting up from Samuel. Jumped it straight in. Spaghetti going to get out of position. Trying to be far too aggressive in this early game. He tried to jump jets to force Samuel out of his Drifting Dark. But Samuel just went, okay, I'm full health, you're half health, I'm going to get a Malice and Verdict on top of you. A little bit of poke from Idris, and that'll be Samuel picking up that mid-trade. And again, Creation going to push a little bit onto this turret, but he's up against the Batiste, so he's not able to dive onto the turret as much as he might have liked to. Baron and Celeste taking back, so now both taking up to the lane to try and ensure they do not lose the turret. And that Creation going to try and do what he can. Baron going to rotate back up to lane, as we said, and he's going to stop that turret from taking too much early game poke, which is really good. Infamous, they're trying to stop the objective focus from Ace, and it's going well at the moment, even though they did trade over a kind of unnecessary kill.
Yeah, definitely. But I mean, just look at a team comp coming out from the side of on the side of Ace Gaming. Like you said earlier on, it's just that the Idris being picked up into that of Baron is just such a strong pickup because with Shroud step in. With a Shroud step in the later game, and you have the health barrier, you can actually tank up a lot of hits from Baron, or rather one hit from Baron. So
And that's going to be drifted up from Samuel. Baron jumped this away this time. That's nice and smart. Just keep himself alive. Get towards the late game where you're going to do a lot of damage onto this Baron. And that's the Ordained and the core collapse. Lovely double stun from Infamous. So much damage from Queasy on this Celeste. We're going to jump this in, try and get the kill onto Scosa. But that will be boots away. Scosa just going to survive. And SNK is going to stop the port. Won't be for too long. Sweaty's going to try and get some poke onto this turret. Creation is there. There's a lot of damage if he wants to dive in. But he's going to not get that barrier. Hasn't got the blink yet. Still got 2,000 gold. So he's going to clear this minion and try and get a kill onto Queasy. Queasy going to get Healing Genesis not quite landing. Creation going to farm up. Wants to port home. Wants to get towards that Sword Blade first. And we see a Serpent's Mask first item Baron. Spaghetti going for the very off meta build of not Sword Blade Tension Bow, but Sustain. I suppose I like to see Serpent's Mask maybe as like a 4th or a 5th item on Baron. Because once you're at that point, you don't need any more weapon power, really. You can just, you just want to sustain. So if you're not going to build defense, Serpent's Mask is the next best thing. The first item, do you think that's a smart pick, or do you think he might have been better off going for the Sword Blade Tension Bow build?
I personally, if you were to ask me, it's that just going for the burst damage on a Baron is so much better because of how slow you generally attack. And granted, you actually deal a lot of damage with your basic attacks as Baron, especially after like a jump jet. But even then, they are Ace Gaming.
Aggressive Drifting Dark. Samuel looks like he actually wants to get kills instead of turret focus this game. With that Mountain Verdict, hasn't got a block, he's getting some by the core collapse. And the Solar Sword was less so much damage. Baron jumped in to secure the kill onto Samuel. Grace is going to have to run away. We see with the core collapse up in 5 seconds. Grace is going to back off, get a nice shot from a little bit of poke. And Infamous going to try and return push, get some damage onto this turret. Celeste is really good at poking turrets down, so is Baron. Grace is going to do what he can, get Imperial Sigil up to full health. But doesn't want to dive in yet. You know there's a stun on Queasy and an Ordained on SNK. So Creation can't dive in yet. That's the Ordained. And that's Creation going to go low. Jump jets and Shimmer Strike. What has he done there? That was so fantastic from Creation, getting an ace for Ace Gaming. Interesting, the Shimmer Strike out of this core collapse from Celeste, getting the kill. Doing basic attacks to secure Baron. And then just finishing off Batiste. Creation is a monster.
Oh wow, like it was even difficult to follow through with your play-by-play because you actually stammered there, and I don't understand. And I don't understand why, because one thing, my camera is actually on that of Scosa on that Lara, and then suddenly because Creation is just really close to Scosa. So Creation was just at that team fight. He was stuck in Ordained. There was no place he could move. And then a core collapse immediately dropped on Creation. But he actually managed to Shimmer Strike out of it, which isn't that impressive to say. But then he actually managed to score a triple kill following that. And that was just mind-blowing. I mean, we've seen a lot of incredible plays coming out from Idris's in Southeast Asia, but we haven't quite seen someone that managed to escape out of an Ordained and core collapse with your Shimmer Strike before.
And then to get a triple kill, but that'll be another turret going down. Infamous ported home, and they were spotted out by a player. That's the Ordained. Going to land onto Batiste. He's going to try and boost away. Lots of damage onto Scosa. That's not the target they want. Chris is going to get that barrier. Going to try and blink on to Spaghetti, but he's going to actually Shimmer Strike inside of SNK, and that is actually going to be Celeste picked up by Samuel. Idris getting a kill in lane here, and that's another ace for Ace Gaming. They just going for kills this game. They don't need objectives. They can get objectives once they get aces. Samuel, great against Celeste, especially with Celeste only at level 7. Still can't poke Samuel from afar, and yeah, it was well played from Idris in the lane as well. He had Lyra to try and help him, but he dived the turret, used the Simmer Strike to be invulnerable for a second, waited for Baron to go out behind the turret, and so he could just jump on top of him, get out of the turret range, and wait for Lyra to tank it up. Idris now picked up a Solar Blade, Tension Bow, Poison Shiv. This is such a big power spike for him. Baron's sitting on only a Serpent's Mask and Tension Bow because of that 20 CS lead that Creation has over Baron. So yes, it's Ace doing really well, but Infamous have got minion candy, and they know that there's no one here to try and stop it. Spaghetti, you can get this turret if you just go for it. Queasy isn't going to try and poke the turret down, but that's the used to allow right more, and that's Spaghetti jumping away, but Fountain's going to save his life. And Queasy's going to try and poke out. Lyra's going to get so much damage. So Lyra's going to help secure the kill on Batiste there. He's out of position. Batiste hasn't got much disengaged. Bossman on Queasy going to try and stop Tessa, but there's no block on Queasy available. That Ordain is not the Ordain. The sleep is going to land on Samuel, and it's just well played from Ace. They went in with Lyra, and everyone tried to run away, but Batiste couldn't run away. And so they're now probably going to take another sentry, and there's nothing Infamous can do to stop this objective focus game because they're behind in gold. They're 8k gold behind, and they can't counter it.
And you would think that the side of Infamous actually finally found a solution to, the aggression and the objective control coming out from the side of Ace Gaming. But honestly, just looking at how they were playing, initially Ace Gaming, for the first 2 games, we are not seeing a lot of kills coming out from them. And the side of Infamous just thought, since you're not kill focused at all, so might as well we just pick out a comp that has got so much more damage compared to you in the later game, and then we can try to sneak in 1 or 2 early game kills and then try to push objectives. Problem is that because the early game kill, the respawn timers are so short, there is really nothing much. I thought that Bad Mojo actually took.
Bad Mojo exploding just outside of range to steal the gold mine, and Creation's going to get spotted out. He's going to get bursted down, or Daisy actually going to stand him up. Core Collapse won't quite do it. That'll be the Oblivion landing, and the Solar Storm not going to get to anyone, and Tessa is out of his Drifting Dark, but doing a lot of damage. Baron's trying to run away. That Iron Cannon going to land on Tessa. Queasy's going to do a lot of damage, and that'll be the kill going over to Celeste, but Sammy's going to trade his life for that one. SNK's almost going to fall. The Imperial Sigil's not quite enough. SNK almost on no health, needs to get that Bad Mojo to get a little bit of sustain, and he's just going to try and turn around. The Imperial Sigil again leaves him on a slither of health, but he's got a Bad Mojo for sustain. And Skosa's not going to get this balance. He's pushing the turret. And again, SNK, what a play! He got the soul fragment healing twice and 3 times left on almost no health. Roman is barely keeping himself alive there.
SNK, there you go. That is basically a survival god at point in time, like you said. It was 3 times that he was close to no health, and yet 3 times Ace Skosa just couldn't get to SNK. So well played on SNK. But I think what happened then was actually Creation getting caught out. It was just a rotation problem coming out from the side of Ace Gaming, honestly. There was this time when they were at the backs farming, and I want to commend them on that rotation. Actually, they saw, and their minions being really pushed into their turrets, and then they immediately just forget about their backs and then rotated up just to take down the side of Infamous, who are trying to perform a siege on their turret. They actually failed. Infamous failed once, so actually could take the turret, but then Infamous, knowing how Spaghetti, knowing how Ace Gaming play, actually decided to not chase Skosa at all, just allowing Skosa to have fun with SNK and then immediately take out a turret. So for the first time in 3 games, Infamous actually managed to take down 1 turret coming out from Ace Gaming.
And Ace Gaming going to try and push in. Lots of minion candy for Batiste, just trying to stop the siege, try and stop Ace pushing too much. But they've already got 3 turrets. They got 2 aces, which is enough to secure the 2nd and 3rd turrets away from Infamous. And the sentry has been eliminated. Batiste didn't manage to get a minion candy on that sentry and fight around it because Ace took it too quickly. Ace coming to the backline. Batiste is trying to pull home, and SNK is going to not be in the right position. That's Baron trying to run away. Queasy is so long gone. The Fist of Chain will not be blocked. Crucible was used a bit early. SNK is going to try and run. I doubt he'll be able to survive on a slither of health this time. He's going to try and run quite far. He's going to get to the shot, but they're not going to be able to do anything. Just shot from Samuel, and that will be the kill going over to the Samuel, and this will be another goal mine for Ace. That was a good rotation. Then they hid, took the backs from Infamous, hid around there, rotated up when Celeste wasn't expecting it. Batiste was actually trying to port home, and Quisi got absolutely bursted by the Idris and the Samuel. Idris is now fully built. 13 minutes 50 in, Idris is 100% fully built and infused. Well, that's just Creation playing so well and having quite a cheap build, to be fair. But this does actually favour Infamous, even though you might not think it, because now all the gold that Creation is going to get is useless to him. He can't build any more items, but Spaghetti can still build 3 more items. He can get another Tyrant, maybe an Energy and can upgrade his boots. So the later game this goes, if Infamous can just hold off, not fight for a bit, and then they'll be in a much better position if it gets to the late game. But it looks like Ace is just going to get the first Kraken and try and win from there.
Yeah.
Again, as I said, Creation is not going to be able to get any more items, so gold for him is not even useful.
Yep, definitely. So, Creation, or rather the side of Ace, actually might actually just go for that cheeky gang. But then nope, they are not. That is not going to happen. So they are, like you said, they are going to go for that Kraken, for the first Kraken immediately when it pops up, and then just try to end the game from there. Because like we are seeing from the side of Spaghetti is that he is down and he's going for a second Tyrant's Monaco. And he has the capacity to actually go in for the fifth damage item as well if the game do drag on. So I mean they are all pretty much fully built. Just looking at Tessa alone, sitting at all the 3 core items that he needs. Baron is jumping in with jump jets.
Yeah, Infamous know that they want to fight. They don't want to fight. They want to try and steal this Kraken away. That is going to be Spaghetti falling. He's doing a lot of damage on the Solar Storm. Soka is going to go low. That's not the person you want to take low. You want to take the carry low. They took Lyra down, but that's not who you wanted. Triple kill for Idris. Not great focus from Infamous. They went for the Lyra. They didn't go for Idris. They didn't go for Samuel. That's Ace for Ace Gaming. And they're going to just push the 2 turrets. Who needs a Kraken if you can just push turrets? Baron is up in 9 seconds. They will get the first turret, and then they're going to go for it. Yes, they are. Drifting up from Samuel. Grace is going to do as much damage as he can onto this turret. Baron is respawning. Jump jets in, but that's going to be a lot of damage onto Tezza. Tezza's almost going to fall. He probably will fall to this one basic attack, but it's just on the vein. Core collapse, not going to land. Grace is going to get the vein. Third game for Ace Gaming. They take the series 3-0.
They did indeed, and it is really impressive plays coming out from the side of Ace Gaming. Just look at how they are so methodical. Like you said off stream, they knew what they wanted, and it was really down to the third game before Infamous actually awoke the inner fighting beast in Ace Gaming, and we actually do see a little more action. But honestly, for the first 2 games, Ace Gaming just executed their pushing comp so well. They didn't see a need to to fight or to engage at all. All they had to do was just poke the side of Infamous down to really, really low, and then go on to perform a siege on their turret. So on the third game, they do not have that team comp. They have a Samuel, they have an Idris, they have a Lyra, they have really good sustain and burst coming out from that of Idris, right? So they do not have like the siege comp coming out from them, but then they didn't need that as well, because Infamous, although they do have the siege comp, they have what it takes to just take down turrets after turrets because of that Celeste, because of that Baron in the late game. They just couldn't win in team fights at all, and that is what the Ace Gaming just made use of. Just took the opportunity that and knowing that the side of Infamous cannot win them in team fights, they just went in. I mean, there are a couple of team fights that Infamous actually come out on top, but that is because a lot of times just Creation or Scosa or even just Tessa alone gets caught out, and that was when Infamous actually managed to come out on top, and from that actually pushed a tower. But that's beside all of it. If the side of Ace just stuck to as a team, the amount of damage coming out from them is just insane.
Yeah, definitely. It's just Ace know what to do. They played extremely well. And Creation out farming Baron, 155 CS to Baron's 134. It's every game Creation got more CS than Spaghetti could in the lane. And yeah, even though he just got to fully built, and he would have started to fall off if the game had got further into late game, it didn't get there. Ace just took the team fight when they were strongest, and there wasn't really much Infamous could do to try and counter it. They had a good anti-siege composition in this game. They did not let Ace just get objectives. So Ace just decided to go, okay, we can't push turrets without killing you. We'll just get an ace and then push turrets. So
Yep.
if getting an ace is the way that we can get objectives, we'll have to do it this game, I guess.
And Ace Gaming actually did perform really well as well. I mean, Infamous just played with a tiger and the inner beast awoke. So anyways, good game, well played to both of these teams. This is the only match we have. This is the only set we have for the Halcyon Showdown today between Ace Gaming and Infamous. Ace Gaming, we all know, is the top team now in the East Asia region. And of course, Infamous is the top seeded team now for VG8 in Southeast Asia. Anyways, this is all that we have today. I am Luxuria, and casting alongside me is the amazing Minimiter, and we'll see you very soon.
It's only just a dream.